Today we're doing lesson 39, which is comparing fractions by drawing pictures. It's a really short lesson today, so we're going to go over it pretty quickly, and then you'll have the rest of the time to do your practice. If you're following along with me, right now we are on page 260, and at the very top it says 1/4 of the circle on the left is shaded. 1/2 of the circle on the right is shaded. So if I wanted to represent 1/4 in this left circle, what would I do? How would I separate that? Yes. So vertical line, horizontal line. Okay, and how many pieces do I shade?
One.
Just one. Okay, so I have 1/4 shaded. Now I want to shade 1/2 in the circle on the right. So what does that look like?
Just one line across the middle.
Okay, you showed me horizontal. Is that okay if I do it this way? Yeah, either way is fine. In your book, it also shows it horizontally, which is great. Okay, but could I split it vertically? Yes, it would be
diagonally.
It could be diagonally. Doesn't even matter. As long as I have it split exactly in half and I have one of those shaded. Okay, it says we see that less of the circle on the left is shaded. This is because 1/4 is smaller than is a smaller fraction than 1/2. So we can write this comparison using a comparison symbol. So when we talk about comparison symbols, I'm talking about the alligator mouth, greater than, less than, or equal to. So I would write 1/4 is less than 1/2. Okay. All right, the next one says Armando finished his math assignment in 1/3 of an hour. Jan finished the assignment in half an hour. Who took longer to finish the assignment? Now remember, you're talking about time. Okay, so if I took an assignment and it only took me 1/3 of an hour versus a half hour, we need to figure out what those amounts equal. Okay? Okay, so 1/3 of an hour, remember an hour is how many minutes? 60. So if I divided that into 3 sections, that would be 20 minutes. So this is equal to 20 minutes. Half of an hour is equal to 30 minutes. Okay. Who took longer then? Jan took longer. And it says draw pictures to compare these fractions. So the way we did it, we were thinking numerically, right? If I break up 60 minutes into 3 parts, that's equal to 20 minutes. If I break it in half, that's 30 minutes. But what does that look like if I were to show it in a picture? Okay, first, each of these rectangles is representing 60 whole minutes. Okay, I want to break the first one up into thirds. This is representing 20 minutes, 20 minutes, 20 minutes. If I do 2 of these thirds, it's only 1/3, my bad. If I do 1 of these thirds, that's only 20 minutes. Now on this one over here, I'm breaking it up in half. So that means each of these is 30. And I can see visually that the one on the right is bigger. So it takes up more time than it does on the left. Is everybody with me so far? Okay. These fractions are written in order from least to greatest. What conclusions can be made about the value of fractions when the numerators are the same? So take a look at this, see what you notice with each of these fractions. They're already ordered for you, least to greatest. What do you notice when the numerators are the same? Yes? All the numerators are ones. All of them are the same. What conclusion can we make about the value of each one of these fractions if the numerator is 1 in every single one of them? Yes?
The top one's always staying the same, and then the bottom one is going down.
If the top number is the same, if the numerator is the same, then if they're in order from least to greatest, the denominator is decreasing, right? Okay, what else?
I have a question.
Mhm.
Why is the 1/3 bigger than all the...
Just font type.
They all have numbers.
Yep, what else? Yes?
The fractions are like instead of normal numbers where the bottom number goes up, but it goes down and the lower the number is, the bigger it is.
Right, okay, so normally when we do least to greatest, we start with the smaller number and we go up in numbers, right? But when we look at these, the bottom number starts with the biggest and then it goes all the way down to 2. Good observation. What else?
They have slashes.
Yep, what else?
They're all they're all bigger than each other.
What do you mean?
The 8 is bigger than the 9, and the 7 is bigger than the 8. Huh?
I get what you're saying. Can you explain in a different way? Because not all your classmates are getting it. They don't quite understand that. Okay. All right. Can you explain too?
Yeah. So, what Jeremy means by they're getting bigger is because 1/9 is smaller than 1/2, so then it just needs to get bigger in between. So, like 1/5 is bigger than 1/6.
Right, very good. Okay, so when we're talking about fractions, it's kind of like opposite thinking, right? Typically, the bigger number is just the biggest. But when you put that number in the denominator, what does the denominator represent in a picture? Is it the pieces that are shaded or the total number of pieces? The total number of pieces. So if I take 6, for example, if I were to show 1/6, I were to split this rectangle up into 6 equal pieces, and I were to shade one of them, it's going to look like this. But if I take a rectangle that's about the same, okay, I'm going to just draw another one right on top, and I were to break it up into 5 pieces that are equal, and I shaded one of those, what Natalie and Jeremy are saying is that I have the same size, like, fraction piece, whether it's a circle or these fraction strips make it easier to visualize. But when I am looking at my denominators and I have a smaller number on the bottom, it means that each piece is a little bit bigger, because instead of cutting a pizza, say for example, into 12 pieces, I could cut it into 8 pieces and my piece of pizza would be bigger, right? So the smaller my denominator gets, the bigger that piece is. Does everybody follow along? Okay. Your assignment today is going to start on page 261. It goes through 263. You are doing 1 through 30 for the written practice, and I'm going to pass out your page. As soon as you get it, write lesson 39 at the top, and then you have about 20 minutes to get it done today.